invented yet. It wouldn't be invented until 1984. So I guess they thought it was okay for an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old to see Jaws by themselves. It was not okay. It was not. It's still not okay. I was okay at the beginning of the film, like when the music first starts. I was okay. I was okay when pieces of Chrissy Watkins washed up on the beach. I was even okay when Alex Kittner got eaten in a spew of blood and rubber raft. I was okay. But I began to not be okay when Richard Dreyfuss was scuba diving at night and he's under that boat and the disembodied head of Ben Gardner rolled out of that boat onto Richard Dreyfuss. I thought to myself, I may not should be here. This might not be okay for me. And then when the little crab crawled out of the eyeball socket of Ben Gardner's disembodied head, I jumped into the seat with Margie Hodges, where I remained the rest of the movie. Now, you might remember that the shark, you don't even see the shark until an hour and a half into that film. An hour and a half. So the music is what's scary and suspenseful, right?
Right.
So I remember sticking my fingers in my ears and my thumbs in my eyeballs and just mashing. I'm amazed I have vision, quite honestly. So towards the end of the movie, you finally see the whole shark, and he's chewing up Quint as the boat is sinking, right? And I turned to Margie, I'm like, see, it's not even real. It's the very end of the movie, the shark explodes. Right? Spoiler alert, 1975 movie, shark explodes. We jumped up out of our seats and our popcorn went everywhere. We dropped our coats. We were not cheering because Richard Dreyfuss and Roy Scheider had survived. We were cheering because we had survived. We're never going out of business. Back then, school made us stronger. School made us. I'm going to show you this. I'm not giving you the finger, but I'm showing you. This is a permanent callus from a big black pencil from Miss Joyce Green's first grade class when we learned cursive. Right? There it is, right there. We our pencil boxes were actual cigar boxes. No one cared. Nobody cared. Later on, we just got high as kites off a mimeograph paper. That was fun. Mrs. Faircloth would say, who wants to volunteer to go pick up the worksheets in the office? And I was like, me! Me! And you'd pick them up from the office and they were still wet. And just all the way back. So good. Some of y'all sniffed some paper, I can tell. Bunch of paper sniffers. Our school did not have a school nurse. We just had a secretary who, if you got sick or hurt, you just sort of sat over in the teacher's lounge while they were smoking. And then the secretary spent a long time trying to find your mother in the days before cell phones or answering machines. You could be there all day long. And mental health was not a thing at all. Nobody even knew what that was. And this was later on. I remember being in science class when the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded and everybody on board perished. My science teacher just turned off the television and went, okay, everybody turn to chapter 8, mitochondria. And we just went on with our day. Nobody came to our athletic practices. Nobody brought sliced oranges. And certainly no one was creating a play date for us, right? At 8 o'clock in the morning, here's how my mom did a play date. Y'all go outside and play. Boom, she'd lock the door. We were out there all day. We didn't have anything to eat. We didn't have anything to drink. We didn't have a juice box or any goldfish crackers. If we were thirsty, we drank out of the hose.
Garden hose.
Never going out of business, y'all. And the water was hot, by the way. And what were we doing outside all day? Well, we were trying to kill each other. We had rock fights. We had dirt clod fights. We had green pine cone fights. And we had BB gun fights. Right? We were shooting each other directly with BB guns. Our parents knew it, and no one cared. They bought the BBs. And on special occasions, we would ramp up to Roman candle wars and bottle rocket wars, and all my dad ever said was, don't shoot each other directly in the eye. Someday you might have to have an MRI. We made Evel Knievel bike ramps out of plywood and cinder block. Right? Nobody wore a helmet. We're all still here. We wandered around our neighborhood like little hobos just for hours and hours. One time, Ashley Farrell and I were in Homewood Hills. We wandered so far away. We got real tired. We asked the Charlie Chip delivery van guy for a ride home. I said, we're tired. He said, get in the van. I got chips. So we went in. And he drove us home, and my mom just said, thanks. You know, it was no big deal. It was a very different time. Now, sometimes my mom would give us money, and she would say, hey, I'll give y'all some money if you'll go down to the Golden Pantry and get me some, thank you, cigarettes. She said, y'all can get your candy. You can get my cigarettes. I could go in, this was the best. I could go in, I was 8 years old, walk in there and say, I'd like to buy 3 cartons of Menthol 100 Ultra Lights, please. And they would sell them to me. At some point, you had to have a note, right? Your mom had to write a note, and my mom would just write, Dear store, sell my child 3 cartons of cigarettes. Love, Mom. And she would give us the money. She would not let us back in the house. She would slide it under the door. We are not coming back in there. She was watching Dark Shadows, and we are not allowed to watch that. So we would leave our yard unattended with no bike helmets and no bubble wrap, and we would leave. And we would go to the candy store at the Golden Pantry. We'd stop on the way down there at the playground. Very different playground from my kids' Gen Z playground that has wood chips on the ground. In case the child falls, they won't get a little bruise on them, right? What we have? Just a giant sheet of cement. You fell, you broke your arm, suck it up, welcome to the playground. We had equipment that would kill you. We had that swing set that came up out of the ground. And you'd run, and there was always one friend that just didn't make it. They got like sucked into the rain hole somehow. Like, save yourself. We had the spring horse thing, and it would go all the way to it hit the back of your head, and then it would fling you forward, and you'd hit your face. Hit your head. Hit your face. Our horsey part came off. We had a metal knob. It just went back and forth. Oh my God. And we had a slide that was so different. My kid's Gen Z slide is at an angle like that, ends at a little soft pile of wood chips. We all had that giant metal slide, just 90-degree angle. Just sat there in the sunshine. Just heating up. Athens, Georgia in August. It wasn't even a slide anymore. It was just a broiler pan for your ass. So we would take our burns and our wounds from the playground, and we would go on down to the candy store, and we would go down there. And candy was very different back then. Candy was mean to children. It was mean to us. We had atomic fireballs, lemon heads, just pixie sticks. Just, It was just a straw filled with sand and sugar. Right? And you would eat it like this, and then your spit would seal the end. So then you have to eat the paper and everything. Right? With the entire family of wax candies. Wax lips and bottles. 4 bottles, 4 colors, tasted all exactly the same. You bite off the top and you suck out that really yummy juice, right? And then you're supposed to chew on the bottle, which was like eating a birthday candle. Yum. There was a family of wax paper wraps candies, like a Nowlator or a bit of honey, and you could almost get all the paper off. But there was always that one piece that the machine just jammed up in there, so what do we do with that? Eat it. Yes, we did. We're eating wax. We're eating paper. And don't get me started on that toilet paper roll with the dots on it. Don't get me started on that. That's just mean to children. Mean. And then there was the family of jewelry candy. Oh, it was awesome. Ring pops. We're engaged. And then there was a candy necklace that came on a rubber band about that big.
Hello.
You kind of got it over your head. And then you
Trying to get the baby to go to sleep, and she's fighting it.
So you just had a rainbow
As
spit.
usual.
Just a spit rainbow. coming all down, and then your friend would come over and bite
So
mom, and her spits on you too.
I bought Jess a
So anybody go around and we get my mom's real cigarettes.
shark onesie because she always complained about being cold. So
it might lead to smoking.
came in today, I made her try it on. It's
And
ridiculous,
my
and I
favorite
love
two
it.
kinds were the hard white stick that had red on the end because someone painted fire.
She's always
on
complaining
the
of being
for us
cold,
to
and I
eat.
bought her a blanket for Christmas.
And then the bubblegum kind you could pull out and blow real
Well, this is a
slow.
suit.
Right, so we would just stand.
It makes it look like a
out there
shark.
in front of the golden pantry, just
I'll have her put it back on here in a little bit. I'll
smoking our candy cigarettes,
take a picture and send it to you.
All right.
wearing our candy jewelry.
I asked her several times. I was like,
little
"Hey,
candy hookers, and
what size are you? How tall are you? Yada yada."
no one
And,
knew where we were.
She goes, "I'm 63 inches tall." So I got one that was 63 inches to 66 inches, and it's just almost too short.
Yeah.
And I knew I should have went with 70 something inches.
Please give it up for my friend, the fabulous Karen Morgan!
I was traveling a couple weeks ago. I went through the Atlanta
You not playing 7
airport,
days?
And I saw
Yeah.
a friend of mine from college, and we had
Are you
seen
on
each
a
other in
different-
years, and she came over,
somebody other
gave
than
me this
Uncle?
big old hug,
No,
and she said,
I'm,
"Oh my God, how are you?" And then she
Mac
said,
Daddy on
"How was
Misfits."
y'all's pandemic?"
Oh, that's why you're on Mac Daddy.
Like it was spring break. Also, like it was over.
I was gonna jump on our stable
And I
game.
don't- How do you answer that? I don't know how
Ain't
you
nobody
answer
been
how
playing
was
it.
y'all's pandemic. Oh, it was fun.
I'm getting
How
on it
was
now.
Yours?
Well, everybody's been
Wanna
playing
be
it all week.
conversational, all right? Well,
That's
my
why I got on
pandemic
Misfits.
started on March
Yeah,
the 12th of
I understand.
2020. Y'all maybe remember that.
I wanna
date.
try
Think
the,
back to where we
the
were on
bass
March 12th. March 12th, I had a comedy
idea.
show that night.
So-
That got canceled. The next day, I went and drove and picked up all of my kids from college and brought them home.
Or attempt to make it. I don't even know how.
And we were home together, all five of us. For
I'm
the
gonna
next
adjust
18
it
months.
because right now it's just the
Yay.
clothesline base, which
They
works really,
completely
really
messed
well.
up my Netflix account.
I need to
My
fix the
Netflix
cage,
account is
the
so
clothesline
confused
cage
as to
though,
what I'm-
because I
I'm
figured out how to
watching.
keep the cops from spitting at
They
you.
like to get a clean glass every time they get something to drink. That's one of my favorite things. Every single time. No one knows how to work the dishwasher, apparently. That's just a skill I have. No, it was
Building
fun. My
environment.
teammates, it was fun. I had a great time. We did have a few interesting milestones during the pandemic. We had two graduations, two family graduations. We had a high school graduation and a college graduation. My younger son was the lucky high school class of 2020. Yeah, I know. It was so they actually managed to have the kids go to the high school, and they marched and they had their caps and gowns, and they got to actually get their diplomas in person. And then the people who gave birth to them and made all those snacks for all those years and sat outside in the cold watching all those games for those years, we had to stay home and watch it online on the TV set in our pajamas drinking cocktails. It was awesome. It was the best graduation ever. I'm not even kidding. It was the best one ever. I called the high school. I'm like, y'all need to do this thing every year. We got hammered at my house. Hammered. My in-laws didn't have to come. I didn't have to get dressed. It was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. And then, so that was June of 2020. And then, then we're like, oh, it'll be over in the fall, right? Not the fall, it'll be over, right? So fall of 2020 was supposed to be my first empty nest fall. That was the first fall in 21 years that all of them were out of my house. And then COVID stayed, right? COVID stayed, and my younger one took a gap year. He stayed home. My daughter had online classes. She was a junior in college. She stayed home. My senior in college had online classes. He stayed home. And it was fine. We're all good. It's fine. And the best part about online college classes, they cost the exact same amount of tuition. as if they were not in my home. It's all fine. No, it's all good. It's all good. We did a few things.
Ooh, my garden looks nice.
We did a few things. If y'all remember when we first started being stuck at home, some of us cleaned our houses, right? Some of us cleaned. We were a little crazy. I was very happy because I already had this cleaning book. It was written by a lady named Marie Kondo. It's called The Magic of Tidying Up, Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. Has tidying up ever changed your life magically? I don't think so. If you don't know this book, first of all, congratulations. And if you do know it, here's what you do with Marie Kondo's Magic of Tidying Up. You hold up your stuff, whatever it is, a shirt, a pants, a shoe, and you ask this magic question, does this spark joy? And if the answer is yes, you get to keep it, right? And if the answer is no, you take it to Goodwill. Now, sadly, the magic of tidying up by Marie Kondo only works on things, not people. Or else there would be a lot of people dropped off at Goodwill. That's just saying, teenagers particularly. So I cleaned out my closet. I did all the things with my clothes. I got rid of a bunch of stuff. And then my husband, I told him, I'm like, I'll help you with your clothes. We got through one of his shirts. One shirt. I held it up. He goes, you want me to ask that shirt? What? Does that shirt spark joy? What does that even mean? Does it mean, do I like it? I don't know. You bought it. Do you think this shirt sparks joy for me? I didn't even know this shirt was in this closet. This may not even be my shirt. Are you having an affair? It didn't go well. The only person having an affair in our home is our dog, who thinks he's having an affair with me because my husband won't let the dog sleep in the bed. And when my husband goes out of town, I let the dog sleep with me. He's hairy, he snores. It's just like having my husband right there. But when my husband comes back home, the dog knows, he's a smart dog. He knows he's done wrong and broken the rules, right? So he won't even make eye contact with my husband. He just stares at the floor. I'm sorry. I slept with your wife. I'm really sorry. So one good thing about cleaning up during COVID was I found some stuff in our attic when I went up there to start cleaning some stuff out. I found this box of treasures that my mom had done. And there's another cleaning method that my mom told me about, and she actually sent me this book. It's called Swedish Death Cleaning, The Gentle Art of Swedish Death Cleaning. It's over in Sweden. It's called over there. Now, the premise behind Swedish death cleaning is that you're supposed to get rid of all your stuff before you die so you don't burden your loved ones with all your clutter, right? Which kind of makes sense. But I think it's like cleaning up after your family on your deathbed. And I've been doing this for way too long, and I am not doing it on my deathbed. I am so sorry. Before I die, I'm going to buy a giant warehouse. And I'm going to fill it with dirty laundry. Just socks and towels and all the stuff that I pick up all the time. And then I'm going to take all my cash money and I'm going to hide it in all the dirty laundry. So they have to go through all the laundry to find the money. And occasionally I'm going to put a note in there that says, see, you should have picked up your socks. So my mom had sent me a whole bunch of stuff. I think she was doing her Swedish death cleaning. And in this box, I found a bunch of pictures. And I'm going to share a couple with you. First picture I will share with you. This is a picture of me when I graduated from law school. This is me in my cap and gown. I think it was Sunday. And people don't know this necessarily, but before I became a comedian, I was a trial attorney. On my resume, this is a lateral move. Thanks very much. So, still working on that. I actually practiced law down in Atlanta before I moved up to Maine, and when I did criminal defense work and medical malpractice work. The criminal defense work down in Atlanta was pretty hard. And when I came to Maine, I found that the crime rate in Maine here is low. But when we have crime here, it's hilarious. We had this Zumba lady down in Kennebunkport. Some of you may recall. So if you didn't hear about her, I guess her Zumba class was not very popular and wasn't getting a lot of people, and she was trying to figure out how to pay the rent, so they just turned the Zumba class into a front for prostitution. And then they all got kind of in trouble, they got arrested, and they shut them down. Well, one of the side effects has been if you now have a Zumba class in Maine, you might not want to call it Zumba because people will either laugh or they'll think you're associated with prostitution. So we have things like dance fitness and exercise dance, and we're not hookers. One of my favorite criminal cases happened in Skowhegan. This was a few years ago. There was a young man who, I think this was wintertime, and he had a little party by himself. You know, just one of those by yourself parties they have. And, you know, he had maybe some Allen's brandy, coffee brandy, and some pharmaceuticals, and just had a little party. And for some reason, he took off all of his clothing, every bit of his clothing, and he went out into his driveway, and he got into the dump truck that he drove for work. And he drove his truck naked down the street to his neighbor's house. And I guess he didn't like his neighbor because he drove that dump truck right into the front wall of the neighbor's house and went right through the front wall. And then he got out of the truck naked and started to fight the guy. It's Maine. I love it. He started to fight the guy totally
I've
naked.
got 4
now,
super corn growing.
Oh, can I get my bike? No, I'm not worried about it.
And
No,
beat
you don't
the
want your bike?
daylights out of the naked
The
man.
map coordinates are not map
And
coordinates. I
then
don't know
when
what
the
they are.
police came, they took statements.
There's
and they
no
asked
maps
the guy
with a
with
minus.
Hammer. They're like, we're just kind
No
of
coordinates with a
about
minus
your
in front of
hammer.
it.
He
It's
said,
a number
well, I
with
was in
the
my
north,
living
south,
room,
east, or
and
west, and another number
thankfully I
with
keep
north,
a
south,
hammer
east,
there.
or west. And SEW.
Just for this kind of situation. He said it on the news. I just love this. It was like he went to the hardware store and said, hey, you know what? I'm looking for a tool for if I'm in my house and I'm in my Barker Lounger in my boxer shorts watching the Patriots game, and then a dump truck comes in the front of my house, and a naked guy high on drugs gets out and starts to fight me, what kind of tool should I use for that? And they're like, oh, that's a number 12 ball peen hammer. Here you go. Good luck to you, sir. So I like to tell, particularly young professional women or young women in school, that even though you have somebody you might work with that might be part of your team, and you look down the hall, you think, oh, that person's they've got their act together. Look how they've got their life balance, they're balancing family, they're just doing it all. Just because they have this picture right here does not mean they have their act together, because this person also has this picture. And some of you may recognize this as a glamour shot from yes, we have glamour shots from 1985. I don't even have a joke for that. I don't even have a joke for that. Literally nothing funnier than this picture, except maybe that picture. Did you get this one we all wore this same jacket. They just passed it around the country. We all had the same exact jacket on. Clearly, they only had one pair of earrings at the one I went to. It's all. But I have to say, I would not want to trade places with her. I would not want to trade places with her. I'm 57. I'm very happy about it. I might like to have her boobs back. I might because you know what? She had awesome boobs. She really did. And now what I've got, they're like those little pillows that everybody has on their couch to watch television with. They're cute to look at on the couch, but if you lay down and then you sit back up, they don't poof back out at all. If you lay this way, they go underneath your armpit. What is that? Don't lay down on your back to watch TV because they go behind you. And my poor husband he's trying to get to second base. He's all up here. I'm like, honey, you know what? Second base has moved. It used to be in Maine. It is now in Alabama, and you need to figure out. There's a special GPS to find them at this point. And I try. Oh my God, I try. Before COVID, I went to the gym all the time. I'm trying. Here's what I refuse to do at the gym. I refuse to update my music technology. Everybody at my gym has little ear pods and little things, and they're little tiny music things, and I still have a giant cassette tape Walkman. And it works just fine. It's fine. If you put it in a fanny pack, you can walk on the treadmill with it, and you look kind of cool. You really do. So before COVID, I was at the gym, and I'm walking, and there was a little girl on the little treadmill next to me, this little size 2, size 0 creature little thing over here, and I could sort of feel her like watching me, you know, because I was taking my cassette tape out and turning it over to side B, as one does. And she was fascinated with this relic of the past. And she got the courage up. She finally said, "Excuse me, is that a cassette tape?" She couldn't even say the word right. And I'm like, I was flattered there for a moment. I said, "Oh yes, it's a cassette tape, yes." And then the little thing got judgmental. And she says, "Oh, does it really say Exercise Mixtape 1989 on it?" And I said, "Yes, it does. And in 1989, my ass looked just like yours." I suggest you walk a little faster, Missy. No, I run too. I occasionally run. I don't like the running races. If anybody does 5K running races, I have one for you to go try out, though. It's in my home state of Georgia. It's in Dawsonville, Georgia, and this is a real race. Awesome Bill from Dawsonville. And are you from Dawsonville? Oh my God. Okay, then you'll know this. Okay, so there's a 5K running race in Dawsonville. It is clothing optional. It is called the Fig Leaf 5K. It's a real thing. You go, you don't wear any shorts, you don't wear a jog bra, and people run along, and all you hear is flappity, flappity, flappity. And that's the men, so ew. So one of the things we had to do during COVID, my passport expired. I had to go get a passport picture made, and I was kind of in a hurry because they were backed up. And so I found out you can get your passport photos made at Walgreens now. So I just went down to Walgreens. I walked in, the guy was behind the counter. I said, "Hey, I need a passport picture done." And he was so annoyed. He was just like, "Blah, blah." He's like, he took the job to sell toothpaste, and now I'm making him run the Sears Portrait Studio or something. So he goes, "Come with me." And so we walk over, and he gets out this little plastic camera, and he stands me by this thing and goes, "Okay, 1, 2, 3. And then I did, y'all, what I have done my whole life. If somebody counts to 3 and holds up a camera, I smiled. Exactly. I smiled. And he went, no, you can't smile. This is a passport photo. It has to be a neutral expression." I said, "Hey, dude, I'm a smiley person. This is my neutral. See, I'm happy. I'm sad. I'm terrified. I hate you. I'm a Southern woman. They are all the same. Trust me on this." And he goes, no, you can't show your teeth. You can't show your teeth." And I said, "Hey, I wore a headgear in junior high school for 4 years. Around the back of my neck and over the top of my head, I am showing my teeth in this picture." And he went, "No, you're not." So he comes out with a rule book now. And there it was at the Walgreens passport photo rule book, and it said, you can't wear a hat, and you can't close your eyes, and you can't have a toothy smile. So I was like, all right, it's in your rule book, so okay, so try again. He holds up the camera, and he goes, 1, 2, and then I just opened my eyes real big. And then I smiled real big. And then when he got to 3, I just covered up my teeth like this. You know, this is my passport picture. So I go through TSA and they're like, Ms. Morgan, are you
I'm gonna have to go out to the desert and set up a oil
like, yes, I have. I
refinery
bought them
or
at
oil rig
Walgreens.
out there
Thank
so I
you very
can get
much.
some oil shale.
Oh my goodness. So I am a mom of three human beings. My husband is from Boston and I'm from Georgia.
Oh,
So
she
our
actually
kids are
lay down?
bilingual. We're very proud. Very proud. When our oldest was learning how to drive, he'd say, hey, yo, watch this. I'm fixing to pack the car. My youngest child was born during the Kentucky Derby. I was actually in the delivery room down in Portland and giving birth to this child and watching the Kentucky Derby on TV all at the same time. And because he was the third baby, I had enough drugs in my system, I thought I was in the Kentucky Derby. And Seabiscuit is now 19 years old. You know, by the time you have 3 to show up early for the drugs. He was born May the 4th. I got there on April 1st and just refused to go home. Just gonna stay here and have him. And I can't believe he's actually in college now. It's amazing. And it seems like yesterday was his first day of kindergarten. That school bus pulled up in front of our house and I put my older son on the bus and I kissed him on the head. I got my middle girl on the bus and put her on the bus and kissed her on the head. I got little Seabiscuit in his backpack. And I got him on the bus and I kissed him on the head. And I'm not embarrassed to tell you, I was emotional and I cried. I actually cried. And then I got up onto the school bus and I tongue-kissed the bus driver right on the mouth. Oh my God, I love you so much. Thank you so much for taking these people away from me just for a few hours so I can drink in peace. Thank you. Whew. She was so surprised. She will not look at me in shawls. I'm not even kidding. And I don't miss the little kid ages. I particularly don't miss some of the things we had to do as mothers at school. Like, there was always one mother in my kids' classroom every year. That one over-prepared, birthday party planning, organic snack making, annoying mother. And you all know her. You all do. Y'all are pointing at each other. And if you don't know her, you are her. So be very careful. Be careful. And they used to have these things that, like, Seabiscuit had a Valentine's Day party. And immediately the mothers, everybody had to sign up for the snacks. Sign up for the snacks. And they're all signing up for, Monica will bring hand-dipped strawberries. And Joshua will make homemade organic Chex Mix. And I'm looking around my kitchen, I'm like, all right, Seabiscuit's gonna bring Funyuns and Bloody Mary mix. So happy Valentine's, people. I hate you all. So, and then there was, the school had this thing called No Name Calling Week. And I was like, what stupid idiot came up with that? Really? And then they called us because they wanted the parents to stand on the playground and monitor No Name Calling Week. And I was like, can I smoke pot? Because that's what it's going to take for me to stand out here. And then they have a thing that was called Turn Your TV Off Week. A real thing. And I was like, no. And one of those mothers said, Karen, listen, it's important so you can spend more quality time with your family. I was like, that's why we bought the television. And then she just kept pushing it. And she said, you need to really worry about the development of your children's brains and their screen time. I said, hey, Joshua's mother, come here. Let me tell you something. or your Chex Mix. And then they grow up, they get to the next stage of teenage years, which are a whole nother bag of fun, right? They say that girl teenagers are harder to deal with than boy teenagers. I see some nods, right? And they're right. They're actually right, because I think girl teenagers are just adult women in training. They have all the raw ingredients of adult women: disdain, spite, revenge, a few irrational thoughts, great intelligence, but they haven't yet learned how to put all their evil powers to good yet. So they're like the furniture people in front of the windsock people in front of the furniture store that go up and down. They go up, they go down, you don't know when or why. Just they look almost human, but they're not. They're not. You have a girl teenager, yes you do. Now boys are actually, as teenagers, I think a little more fun to hang out with. They are. But they smell. They just do. They smell. There's a funk, and I don't know why, because they shower a lot for extended periods of time. They should be clean, and that is all I'm saying. And I didn't know this about teenage brains until I had teenagers. The teenagers' brains, their frontal lobes literally have not stopped forming in their head. They're still growing together like this. So they basically have a brain that is in their skull just blah, just whopping around in there, right? Blah. So what you get with the boy teenagers particularly is you get a good choice, and then a good choice, and then a good choice, and then a doofus choice. A good choice and a doofus choice. If you get two doofus choices in a row, your insurance premiums go up. Happened to me. My youngest doofus was Seabiscuit, and
Feel better, Mama?
he had this little phase where he was becoming a doomsday prepper. If you don't, I guess people think the end of the world is coming, and so they start putting survival supplies in the basement. And I decided I was just letting him watch too many episodes of The Walking Dead, because he was putting all this stuff down there. And so I made fun of him forever. I'm like, this is hilarious, and I'm making fun of you. And then I thought, ooh, what if the zombies really come? Our family's survival depends on the choices of this 15-year-old boy. So we're just going to be sitting in a basement in Cumberland, Maine, surviving off of Blue Mountain Dew and flaming hot Cheetos and reading a lot of Victoria's Secret catalogs.
Here you go.
Help us.
Don't spend it all in one place.
And then the next phase, which I'm still kind of in right now, is they go off to college. And the dorm shopping thing between the boys and the girls, to me, was I think one of the most jarring differences. When my older son went for his freshman year in college, I took him to Bed Bath & Beyond to get all of his dorm room supplies. First of all, he had never even been in Bed Bath & Beyond. He thought the sheets and towels just came with our house. So we go in there with his dorm room supply list, and I said, okay, you need extra long twin sheets for your dorm room. They have gray, white, or pink. He said, I want white. I said, you're getting gray.
Need some work? What?
We're going to start off with a color that they're just going to end up at the end of the school year. Put those in the buggy. And then he goes to me, wait. What's the thread count?
Tomorrow.
And I was like, do you even know what thread count means? He said, yeah. No. But the highest is the best, right? I'm like, okay, first of all, these are dorm room sheets. They're not the best. They're the worst. But it doesn't matter what the thread count is, because these sheets are not coming back to my house. I don't want to see these sheets ever again. I don't want to know what happens on these sheets for the next 9 months. It doesn't matter what the thread count is at the bottom of the garbage dumpster. Just put them in that buggy. So I said, next thing you got to have, you need a pillow. So he goes into the pillow section of Bed Bath & Beyond, which is a big choice variety. He comes back with this pillow. He goes, I want this one. It's made of organic bamboo fronds and baby gosling feathers. It's only $200. I selected a different pillow. I said, you see this one? It's made from polyester. It's only $6. And when you puke red hunch punch up all over it, it will be less sad at the bottom of the garbage dumpster. Put it in the buggy. So the next year, I had to get my daughter ready to go off to college. Now, my son, he took the disposable sheets and the $6 pillow and he like grabbed a towel out of the dirty clothes on the way out the door. My daughter furnished a luxury high-rise condominium. You had one too. I always, we had all this matching bedding. We had mood lighting. Everything had to match. Everything had to be exactly right. Even the marker board that they put on the outside of the door so their roommates can write notes to each other had to be exactly right. And I said, honey, you're in a co-ed dorm. It does not matter how cute this marker board is because boys are just going to draw dicks all over it. Doesn't matter how cute it is, that's what's gonna happen to it. So then she wanted a husband pillow. She had to have a husband pillow with the little arms things, and so I'm like, honey, we all think we want a husband pillow. And then we get the husband pillow. And then we realize the husband pillow takes up way too much space in the bed, and it just sits there in front of the television. You don't really need that. So my husband pillow and I just celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary. We made it. So the traditional gift for 25 years of marriage is silver. The modern and more appropriate gift is a ride home from your colonoscopy. Which you really need more than some silver, quite honestly. No, we've been married a long time. When we got married, we saved the top tier of our wedding cake to eat it on our first anniversary. Some people do that. The bakery that made our wedding cake actually gave us a fresh top, so we wouldn't have to eat the old, year-old piece of cake. But I'm a little superstitious. I am. I'm Southern. I just didn't want to throw away the real top of our wedding cake. We've been married 25 years. We still have the top tier of our wedding cake in our freezer. We've moved 8 times. And we've lost power a whole bunch of times. And I'm afraid at this point, this quarter-century-old piece of poisonous wedding cake is the only magic holding the whole thing together. So I'm keeping it. I'm absolutely keeping it. I'll give a little example of my husband, why we've been married so long. I'm not a nagger. You have to pick your battles. I don't nag. I'm just not a nagger. So one evening, my son came in to borrow my hairdryer out of my bathroom. And he grabbed it so hard that he broke the outlet that the hairdryer was in. My husband came home.
Oh, I'm tired. I'm not going to bed.
And I said, hey, he broke the outlet. Can you fix my hairdryer outlet? And he said something to the effect of, bleh.
Good night.
Kids, bleh. House, bleh.
I believe it's the first time I've been able to end a stream and not have the blue finger of death give me the middle finger salute. That's pretty cool.